Greetings and God bless. I just wanted to do a video talking about how people are so concerned with looking like a model, looking like the cover of GQ, or their home looking like Martha Stewart lives there or something like that, or nobody lives there. And when I was a child, I would watch George Burns or Johnny Carson or whoever was big, established in the 70s and 80s. And then as time went on, their early shows, when they were 20 years younger, 30 years younger, were reruns. And it was so disturbing to see them young and perfect looking. I preferred them how they looked with character. And what I noticed is like all these people who are not even news people or actors, they're not even, they don't even have YouTube, and they all have, the women all have like dyed hair, plumped up fake lips, fake face, fake chest, fake nails, and they talk like, like whatever, and blah blah blah. And technically, according to the standards of today, that they're pretty, they pass or whatever. And then there's all these videos about how these good guys have these good looking but terrible girlfriends or wives or mothers of their children. And time again, it's always these guys, like agonizing about these good-looking women, but and these conventionally good-looking women. Now you got to think, when somebody is putting all of their money and their time and their attention to go from, somebody whose appearance is really a 3 and trying to look like a 10, like that's going to be a certain type of person. And is that what you want for the mother of your child? Like, unless you're some type A personality who's, trying to join the Illuminati or something like that, do you really need somebody who's such a knockout, so she makes a great first impression with your friends or something like that, and maybe the superficial people in your family or amongst your employers or something like that, as if that matters. But that's what I'm thinking motivates guys, is they're trying to date like a model or whatever, as if that means something about the man's value or something like that. And human civilization wasn't based on like the progress of Western civilization wasn't based on men marrying models, like what made like what was the fabric, the very thread of civilization. Yeah, there were rich people or whatever, but they didn't matter. They didn't do anything. They were just liars, cheats, thieves, and just knew how to manipulate the game. But your butchers, your bakers, your candlestick makers, your tailors, the person who did your plumbing, the person who took care of your water, who did this, that, and the other, well, did your laundry, or who, like those are the people. Those are the people you cannot live without. We can get rid of. That's the irony about the globalists, that they know but nobody thinks about. We could do without the globalists. We could totally do without the Gateses and the Schwabs and the WHO and the United Nations and all the Committee of 300 and all these evil, International Monetary Fund, the Vatican, Jesuits, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, really. And so there'd be no news, because that's what they're all about. And their minions would evaporate, because their minions have nothing to offer. And all that would be left, if we got rid of the globalists, if the globalists were zapped, and that is going to happen when Jesus returns, we can just do the things we do, whether it's knitting or, building a house or raising like that. And that's all we want. We just want to just be able to live in peace, be able to do our thing, and not have to be like targeted by Marxist Satanists coming after the children or backing us into a corner so we say their insane spells, their witchcraft spells that they want us to incant um, because of the demons they harbor. But back to my original point is, so women are so into looking, okay, so I'm talking about conventional women. So they got this whole look that does not look like when they wake up in the morning, it's a completely different person than what you see with the makeup, with the eyelashes and all this stuff. And how does that satisfy a guy that his girlfriend or his wife looks completely different? Like she looks, like a, but now when she goes to bed, she looks like like, I don't know. I want my to look, or my husband to look like the same person, like generally, like like with all this fake eye stuff and the lip stuff. And um, I saw this video where this woman, she's like 20, 21 or 22, and she'd had so much face surgery, like cosmetic surgery and all the injections in her lips. And she did what 50-year-old women do, so she looked 50 years old. She added 30 years to her face. And she was a pretty, like without the stuff, she probably was just this pretty average, like this averagely pretty lady. And now she's ugly. She's an ugly young woman. She went from a pretty young woman to an ugly young woman because she was copying a trend. She was following a trend. And I actually, I mean, so I've got health issues, so doing the whole makeup thing and whatever is just beyond my energy level. But I also feel like of having character, appearing like, especially women, because men can get away with it. Men can be ugly, but it works. But women have just this tremendous pressure to be beautiful, pretty, sexy, and but also like very average. And I think women, like beauty has a little bit of something off sometimes. I mean, not always, because yes, there's some just exquisite, beautiful women out there, just absolute perfection. And but if you have like a little bit of a big nose or whatever, your eyes aren't perfect, or like, I do think we have to fight against this pressure as women to be perfect or to be just so gosh darn beautiful or pretty or made up. Like, because we're so afraid of looking ugly. We're so afraid of um, you know, all women wear, eye makeup and have those weird the spiders on their eyelashes, and all sorts of like their lips are oozing as if it's like some obscene thing, like. So I actually feel like uh, people need a slap in the face of reality, and praise the Lord for ethnic moms, Russian moms or whatever, that were homemakers, and they didn't devote everything to their, like looking like a model or something, or looking like an athlete or whatever. Um, because that's really what a traditional woman was. Throughout millennia, women were not professional athletes and, part-time moms. Nobody like, yes, I'm sure there were women who were full-time workers that ran their own business throughout millennia. But that's not what the role was. And like some women, it works for them, but um, we are in a terrible world, honestly. And um, I just think like we're meant to be nurturing and not um, like having to seek the approval of the whole world like we do today. Because now women and girls are influencers and stuff like that, and you know, doing porn, like it's so incredibly normalized, and it's just sad. And also just doing like tattoos, getting tattoos on people's faces, and the piercings and stuff like that. Both, tattoo, like the inks are not healthy for your body. And then the piercings are hard on your meridians, if you know anything about traditional Chinese medicine. So, uh, so anyways, I'm just trying to say, like, if you've got like something that folks would consider a flaw, um, let it be. Like people be mature, like mature adults, just like anything. Like a mature adult has to handle somebody with a funny voice or a soft voice or whatever. Like we can't, like, that's the pressure as a woman or as a female. We're like, oh, nobody can bear my, nobody can stand my natural appearance. And I remember there was this lady, and she was of Middle Eastern religion or Indian, like East Indian religion. And so she had some features that were unconventional. And she was like, if God made me this way, and that was her religion, is like her religion was like, you don't alter what God created, how God made you. And so she was a firm believer in that. And I thought that was really courageous. And I mean, I'm not saying if you have like a bleeding wound on your face, don't clean it up or something like that. But, like people have to just deal. People have to accept the human variety, And like it's weird because the whole pressure, oh, diversity, blah, blah, blah. But it's not really, because if we look at these cartoon characters that they're using as like role models of diversity, it's literally a cartoon character with all this pancake um, face paint stuff. And these are not natural looking human beings. You don't see like a man, without makeup on, like, or the women have purple hair or green hair and tattoos on their face or piercings on their face. And like it's just try being natural. And that's what really takes courage, because having all this artifice on your face, it's a mask. And it's almost like um it kind of is aggressive to have like tattoos on your face, or to have hardware on your face, or for a man to wear makeup. It's war. And to really to be natural, to look like how you like, this is how I look. Like, I don't want my hair to be totally a mess and stuff like that, but to really be how you look in the world, like that really takes courage. And people don't like it. Like, people, I think they treat me worse because I don't wear makeup and I don't get all the fancy stuff. But my time is valuable. My money is valuable. And I'm not going to spend $300 on a whole bunch of makeup or whatever. I'm not going to waste my time. I don't have time. And like, and even if I did have time, wouldn't want to spend it on putting on makeup and crap like that. Like, what value does it have other than strangers who don't matter approve of you? Maybe, and maybe not, like all that effort for nothing. And I know some very nice people who are totally into makeup, and they really get a kick out of it. And if that's your aesthetic or whatever, like if that's your practice, your art practice, or your self-care practice, of course, like that's totally, I mean, anything I'm saying, it's take it or leave it. um but what I'm trying to talk about are women who try so hard to, like they're just, I don't know what it is. Like that this thing about women wearing extensions of other women's hair. Like I just find that so gives me the heebie-jeebies. I would not want to wear somebody else's hair. Like just like wearing fake nails. I wouldn't want to wear plastic stuff on my fingernails. Like everything has energy. Everything has like a vibration and an aura, and you know nothing's inert. If you put anything on your body, like it's like there's an interaction. There's like physics and stuff. And like when I was a child, you know, people didn't wear extensions, and they used all sorts of other things, and or they had the shaved head look, and it was all cool, you know. Um, but now, like certain demographics, like get like they spend, I don't know how much, is it $500 or something to have hair all the way down to their butt, like Rapunzel kind of fantasy. Kind of sad, or like people whose genetics aren't don't have blonde hair. Asian women who do blonde hair or whatever. And I'm like there's this thing about Asian women wanting to look like an albino fish, that lives at the bottom of a deep pit. Like they look less than white. They look see-through. And I'm like, that looks like somebody is ill. Like when I was growing up in New York City, like there was a whole spectrum of skin tones, and honestly, like the super pale people, you were like, you need to get outside. You need to get off of your computer, and like you are not healthy. So anyways, this is just, I guess, my rant about like you're really just fine the way you are. And if anybody is really complaining, they have issues. Like if anybody is having any negative thoughts, they have issues. Unless you have like a gash on your face and you're not taking care of it or something like that. Or let's say you don't, take care, like brush your hair or something like that. Like, okay, I was wearing a hat. So yeah, I could, pat down my hair. But my point is like people who spend like hours a day looking like artificial, like extremely artificial. Like, I don't think like all makeup is bad or whatever, but it's just like when people look like a completely different person, I'm like, why? Why look like a fake person? Okay, because you want to have this fake persona. I mean, is that really the life that you want to have forever? Is like this fake you and this real you? Like why? I mean, if somebody else was doing my makeup, I'd totally okay, let's do it or something like that. But I still want to look like me, you know? So what do you guys think? Thanks for watching. God bless.